podcast. I got my co-host SB Mike Eli back in here. He missed last episode, so today I guarantee he's coming with a banger. We have another special guest in K for week 3. First and
I know
foremost, how
y'all
y'all
missed
doing today?
me.
What's good with y'all?
Good.
Good man.
You know, another day, another dollar. If you have your smoke, I got my vape. If you got
Yeah.
your drink, I got my water.
Oh yeah, look, I got my,
But I got water.
I got my.
I got water.
Listen,
I
I
got
got.
my yeah.
Justice, I just really wish you just stop.
Can't take the ghetto out of nigga, man.
Take a
them
nigga out the ghetto.
things,
Not
them
the-
Oh,
things
can you hear me?
get on
Nigga
my
out the ghetto.
nerves
What's up,
so
Eli?
bad.
I hear
Yeah,
you, Eli.
Yeah, we can hear you,
Yeah,
bro.
I
How
hear
you
you.
feeling?
What's good? What's good?
You know.
We missed you last week. Where you
Yeah,
been?
man.
Where you been?
It was a busy week last week. Couldn't make it.
Heard.
What's good,
Well,
my
glad
boy?
to have
Seen
you
your
back.
episode, man. Your episode looked live though, man. That's some good content y'all put out last week.
Yes. I'm
Oh,
gonna hold it
okay.
down for the ladies today.
Oh,
You know,
I'm gonna put them shots up.
Or the other.
I'll take a shot of water.
H2O. Gatorade.
I got one more for later.
Not one more for later.
There you go.
That's
There
terrible.
you
Okay, I'm
go.
sorry.
Lord.
Without further ado, go ahead, pop it off, Kay.
Okay, so did everybody? I do have multiple questions, but I want to start off with the clip from Shaq. Did everybody see the clip from Shaq
Yeah.
about
Probably.
opening up to a woman?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, do y'all agree or disagree with that statement that he made about opening up to women?
What was the
I can
statement?
use. I didn't see the
He
clip.
said he basically said that men shouldn't open up to their woman because they'll try to use it against them down the road.
Facts.
Vulnerability, especially if they get mad or some shit like that.
Facts.
I mean,
So I
I-
guess. Go ahead, John.
I see where he's coming from. 'Cause I mean, that's history repeats itself. That's always what happens. But if I have an old lady, I feel like I should be comfortable enough to open up to her without the consequences of you using that down the road or using it against me down the road. Like that should be
You
out of the
feel like
picture.
that's
'Cause I
what
know-
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, you
What
feel me? Like I know what it's like. I know I wouldn't use anything you told me against you down the road. So why would you do that same thing to me?
So my thing is, in so many ways, I agree with him, right? But I think just like what Jock said, I mean, you have to have room to give your woman space and opportunity to really earn your trust. So that means you have to compromise yourself by putting yourself on the front line and saying, "Look, I'm gonna entrust you with my information, and I'm gonna just hope that in the long run, this shit doesn't come back to backfire." I think. Just like he also said, where history repeats itself, that's why we typically go to our boys to talk about certain things or have certain conversations because, for one, it's more relatable for us being in the same category of male and female, but it's also one of them things where I don't pretty much experience both ends of it where I done been with a female, told her like my deepest, darkest secrets, and the shit get thrown back at me. And then I've also been cool with niggas who I gave that same information to. We not cool to today, and in so many ways we probably beefed at one point in time like heavily to where we like throwing fists, and them niggas never said nothing about it. So you know what I'm saying? It's just the opportunity for each party is there, but it just more often happens from the person that we trust the most in our females, and I think it's something we got to break. It's almost like a generational curse, but that shit happens over time. Some you just can't expect that shit to happen right away.
Okay, so in response to that, then, with the men being more closed off, for lack of a better term, do you think that women are too open?
No, yeah,
No.
it depends. It depends. So when you say
I
open,
think-
what exactly are you talking about? Just emotional shit or
Uh, uh, overall, okay, so like you was just explaining that it's to an extent, it's only so much information that you'll give to your spouse about what you battling internally or whatever the case it is. It's only so much that you're gonna say I'm not gonna say fear, but
no,
again,
it's
for
a
lack of
pride
a
thing.
better
It's a pride
term,
thing for sure.
fear,
Pride thing.
not being able to express yourself. But women, here we are, we'll tell you our whole day, our whole life story, whatever the case may be. So I'm saying, like, with y'all being more reluctant I'm not gonna say you won't, but you're a little more reluctant to give information? Do you think women are too open?
No, I think that in that context, that's more of a pride issue. And I think where the line gets kind of met is where, like, for us, I don't want to, like, we want y'all to come to us about y'all shit so that we can help y'all fix it. But we don't want to seem like we can't figure our own shit out because we're expressing X, Y, and Z issues to you. And it's a consistent thing when I could just talk to somebody else on the outside. That way my image to you won't be tarnished. That's a pride thing for us. It's more of an emotional thing for you guys. Like, you guys want to be helped. You guys want to do this, that, and third. And we also want to feel needed. So it just kind of goes hand in hand. But for us, it's a prideful thing.
It's a case of trying to be strong for your woman and not her looking at you like you weak.
Hey, good morning to Kelsey.
Good morning, Kelsey. Kelsey.
Doing good.
Who's Kelsey?
Like history months.
No.
My bad, Mike. What did you say now? I'm sorry about that cut off.
I said it's more of us trying to be strong and not her looking at us like we weak. It's like I want
hate
you to
that
come.
term so much. I'm
No,
sorry
for
to
real,
cut you off,
for
but
real,
I
for
really
real.
do, because I hate it, because what about vulnerability equates
So
to weakness?
It's not
so
vulnerability
so
and weakness.
so
That's not a
so look.
comparison.
So when we grew up, right? You grew
Okay.
up as a boy. You grew up. It was a man. A man isn't supposed to feel a certain way, and he's supposed to be tough through all of this. And you hold your head up all the time, and you tuck your chin, but you don't never fold.
hmm
So in our world, it's like we can't be vulnerable to our woman because our woman is supposed to be the one that's coming to us. When she got a problem, we handle the problem.
I don't agree with that, Mike. I don't agree
So
with
if
that.
I got a problem, I'm going to try and handle my problem on my own, but I'm not going to have her try and handle my problem.
I don't agree with that at all. So I don't think I'm not scared to be vulnerable with my woman. First of all, that's a part of the relationship, specifically between you and your partner. Like, that's your significant other for a reason. You don't call your significant other that term without understanding that there's going to be some kind of weight of vulnerability on the side of you. Like, it's just going to happen. Like, I have a deep soft spot for my woman and my daughter. And I know that in any given moment, like, I could act tough and almighty and doubt and all that shit all day long. But if she over there crying right now, nigga, I'm going to go over there. I'm cuddling, I'm coddling, I'm talking. I'm trying to be her therapist in that moment. Like, bro, that's my most vulnerable state.
Right,
And
for
you can't
her.
be
So
scared of
what
it.
about for you?
It doesn't matter. Like, in that moment, nothing else matters but being vulnerable for her, because I know that's what she needs at this moment. I'm not
So
afraid
that's
of
what.
being
What about
vulnerable.
What I'm saying.
what
I'm
about
saying so
you
far
and
as
your
you having emotions, you wouldn't go to her and be like,
Yeah, I
I'm feeling
would.
this way and I'm
Yeah, I would.
crying.
I would. Now, am I gonna shed tears? No, unless I really get to that breaking point where I feel like I actually have to shed those tears. But again, that just goes back to trusting who you need to trust. Like, I don't been through relationships where I couldn't trust the motherfucker I was with, and now I got somebody who I can physically trust. I can physically entrust the fact that she would keep me crying to her sacred. I don't have to think about her going to talk about it to her friends and all this shit. Like, that's a part where you actually have to trust the person that you with. But to say I can never be vulnerable is crazy. I gotta be vulnerable at some point,
So
because
what
I
got you?
got to.
What got you to that place?
Trusting,
Growth.
trusting
Gotta
and
get
growth,
growth.
bro. I went through a divorce. I went through hardship. I went through, like, basically a crisis in my life for me to realize, bro, like, you can't always think like this. Like, you're gonna have to be vulnerable at some point, and there's no way that you're gonna be able to live your life being this, like, hyper masculine nigga thinking you don't need to be vulnerable or be very soft to anybody, bro. Like, it's just a real thing. Now, I'm not saying go do this shit to every Lacey, Alicia, and Maxie, but, like, nigga, do that shit for your bitch at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's your woman for a reason.
So that's
Damn
what
it.
So
I'm
Sorry, I did.
saying.
It slipped.
so
You growing.
let me
lady, not
let me chime in just a little bit. I mean, cause y'all both saying some truth in your own way.
hmm
SB, you got your perspective because you're able to grow through your situations and get to a place of comfortability where you're able to express yourself. You know what I mean? Mike may be in a place where he's not there yet, and then that's a lot of men out here. There's men that have been able to grow to get to a place and be where you're at comfortability. There's going to be men that's in Mike's position where he's like, I'm not quite there yet. So to a degree, y'all both are right. Not all men are going to open up to that woman because some men and women are still in situations to where it's like if they do disclose that information, that shit will get put out there. If they do disclose that information, some women don't find that attractive. Like it's just all about the person that you're dealing with. Like some women don't think that a man should open up and be vulnerable because they got this new term out now calling these niggas sassy. A nigga ain't going to be called sassy because
Pop
he wants to
culture.
express himself.
That
But
don't come from
but no,
vulnerability.
I ain't done. I ain't done though. So
It do though.
but I ain't done though because like I said, that's
Pop culture.
it's half and half. This is that side, but then we also got people that may be on the side where you at, SB, where it's we have growth. It's not sassy for a man to express himself. It's that's actually attractive. Like my man can come to me and trust me. Like I'm like a lot of women might hold that as a accomplishment that my man trusts me enough to be vulnerable too. Like I know my man is a stone out here in the streets, but I know on the inside that he does have a soft side, and he trusts me to have that. You know what I mean? So that's why I said both of you guys are right in your own way, and I wouldn't say one is wrong to express the way that they feel, but the main part to that is being able to be comfortable with yourself and comfortable with your partner to be able to give them that. So that's where I'm at with it.
You got
Okay.
Jock.
Well, touch on what you said. Oh, go ahead, Jock.
I ain't saying nothing else, SB.
No, I was
No,
saying,
he was
did you have
saying.
any commentary?
Oh, do I have any commentary on what he's saying?
Yeah.
No, he kind of hit it on the head. It's just like my personal opinion is like I should be able to open up to my significant other type shit. I should be able to tell my significant other something that I don't tell the guys. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if I have a significant other and I'm like there's stuff that she knows about me or stuff that she knows that I'm dealing with that my own brother Eli don't know that I'm dealing with. And vice versa. You know what I mean? So like I feel like we should be able to be vulnerable to our ladies. But like I said, it also comes back to the fact that I don't want that shit to happen and then that shit gets used in an argument later on down the road.
This is all that we always. I think for us, like we always have to have that. We are very protective creatures, and that's even is like 10 times more with ourselves. So like once we get a family and shit, we're gonna be your protectors, but we have to protect our peace. We have to protect our sanity. So one of those mechanisms that we use is like a self-inflicted protection gear, and it's like, yeah, I'm telling her this shit, but this shit gonna backfire. Is she gonna do it? Some niggas ain't even been through that shit before, and they still think about it because they hear stories or they see men go through so much shit. And with men, bro, like women don't really think the new pop term is emotionally intelligent, and it's like y'all don't understand how emotionally intelligent we truly are. Like we have to deal with like wars and shit on a daily basis, and motherfuckers just take that shit with a grain of salt because y'all see us with a smile on the face. Like we put a lot of that shit in the closet and lock it up. You know what I'm saying? So when we finally do come to terms with trusting someone with certain information after we don't been through so many wars, got so many like war wounds, scars, bruises, and it's like, nigga, I entrusted you with this little bit of information, and you decided to crack down and throw that shit back in my face in the worst possible way.
Yeah, but like it's kind of like we talked. I want to say last week, the week before that. You're gonna know that before you get to that spot. Like I said, we said before, trust people to be them, right? When you start to give a little bit of information in your, the person that you start to entrust that you feel like, okay, this could be the one. Then you start dropping certain gems. You know what I mean? You're gonna know if that shit's gonna come back. You're gonna know prior to dropping that real heavy load. Like, okay, this is really what I, you know what I mean? You'll know prior to that. So I feel like as y'all grown, like you're not. It's a little harder to get that information to get thrown back in your face when it's like if you're dropping little gems before you drop that real big thing. I feel like you'll know if this is a person that you can trust those secrets with prior to getting there to a degree. But also, like I see in the chat, like, and I do agree with, and my fault to cut you off, but I do agree with, like, as far as the reason why, especially black males are a little more
program.
It's a little harder to break that shell with them is because of all the ways that we were growing up and taught not to be vulnerable. Like that does play a factor into it, but again, that goes back to growth. When you're able to grow, learn yourself. That's ultimately what it comes down to the most important thing. And well, I ain't gonna say the most important thing in his life, but one very important thing in his life is to learn yourself and get comfortable with yourself prior to being able to open up to other people. So like, yeah, we were taught all of this. We were uh, taught to, be strong and not vulnerable, be hard, all of that stuff. And yes, we do battle shit 24/7. Yes, all that's true. But once you be able to know who you are as a person and as a man, as just a human being, I feel like some of them battles, what I'm saying, we were able to be like, I can handle this, I can accept this, I can do this. This is possible. It's all right to feel this way. Like it's all right to not be happy. It's all right not to be okay. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. So that's all. That's all part of growth. It's all part of
That's
growth.
why my question was, how did you get there, SB? Because a lot of people don't, I guess, understand how to grow.
Yeah.
So when you
Hey,
grow
everybody
up,
process would be different though. Like at
Yeah.
some point you gotta be
the
responsible for
process
you and
will
what
be
it is
different.
that you wanna like your emotional intelligence is your responsibility. It's
Honestly,
not my
I don't honestly think you'll ever just be there. Like I
Yeah.
feel like it's always going to be, you're always going to be growing. Like it's always going to be with new growth. It's going to be a new challenge. Like I don't think you're ever going to be able to just be there. Like it's going to be like, okay, I'm able to, I was able to accomplish that and surpass that. And now you're living. So then there's going to be a new, but now you know how to handle that. But then there's going to be something new, and you got to be able to learn how to handle that. Like I don't ever think you're going to just be there, in my opinion.
absolutely. But in handling it, I think you also gotta be okay with making a mistake. Be okay with falling back into an old habit. You can't just beat yourself up for like going
Yeah,
back to your
Yeah.
old
I
ways.
agree.
What
I agree.
what the other part of it is, I think you have to be okay with telling yourself the uncomfortable truth. And nigga,
Mhm.
that uncomfortable
That's
truth is a motherfucker. Because
I agree.
when you
Accountability.
tell yourself that you did X, Y, and Z, nigga, and you sit in that shit
Yep.
for a couple of days, nigga, and
Yeah.
you really reevaluate yourself, like nigga, I'm sitting up here thinking I'm a good nigga, boy, and I ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
So
so Mike, I
Accountability.
got a question for you.
I feel you on that.
Like, are you honest with yourself?
now,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, yes.
No,
Well,
I'm asking Mike. I'm saying like
Yeah.
you can give yourself, you can be honest, you can give yourself criticism, you can
Yeah.
sit in your emotions with yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the biggest responsibility that any human being is gonna hold. Like accountability is a motherfucker. You can't run away from that shit. Like you can avoid it as much as you want to, but when that time comes for you to really sit there in that shit, bro, you gonna sit in that shit. Because I can sit right here and tell 30 people the same story about my first marriage, and nigga, I can tell you everything I did wrong. But in the midst of my story, I can be telling you so many things that went right, and you would ignore everything that went right because all you heard was the bigger shit. So like when you have people around you that are programmed to listen to the bigger shit, which is always negative, they're gonna feed that shit back into you up until you start separating yourself from that person. And a lot of that comes with accountability too, being accountable for who you allow to have that information to retain the information that you pass on. So if I'm gonna have communication, I'm gonna have communication with someone I know it's gonna be a mutual party, and who's gonna tell me, like for instance, Kay and Jock, them two was the first motherfuckers I had in my pocket as soon as I was going down, right? And like, and mind you, I don't separated myself from people for years. So I'm like, fuck, I let this marriage like take away my friendships. It took away relationships with my family members, this and the third. Who can I turn to? I turn to these motherfuckers. And what they do, hey Jay, you wrong. Hey, you doing this wrong. Fix yourself. Get this shit together. I gotta sit in that shit because I'm like, all right, hold on. So I stopped talking to Jaffa, I think like 2 weeks. And like not stop talking, but like I was like, nigga, we're gonna have bare minimum conversation, nigga, because I really don't fuck with how you just said that shit. But he was being real.
But it
Hey,
needed to be said.
mind you, I think me and Kay stopped talking for like a year or two. And when we finally like
Mm-hmm.
retouched, bro, and she was like, nigga, I ain't mad at you, but just know you're not doing that shit again. And then start going down the list the same way Jock did. And it's like, damn, nigga, now I gotta sit in the same shit because she just said what Jock said. So somebody ain't lying, nigga. Let me sit back. And nigga, I took that shit and I'm like, bro, nigga, fix yourself.
And you did though. Like I give you 100% credit. Like the man that stands before me today is 100%. Like you did a whole 180 compared to the guy that was in high school. Like
A
the
whole
guy that
180
was fresh
whole
out of
180
high
from
school.
2018. That 2018
Man,
from
like
what?
you,
Bro,
I don't feel like you give yourself credit enough for like the actual work that you put in. Like when I be telling people about justice, I speak with justice with 100% pride. Like, and everybody always be like, "Oh, have y'all ever dated? Y'all must used to mess around." I'd be like, "Bro, it has never
never
ever
been
been
fake.
anything like that." Like I 100% look at Justice like a brother, but like the man that he is right now, I'm so proud of this man. Y'all don't even understand. Like
Appreciate that.
he definitely did the work.
But that shit came with understanding responsibility I gotta take for myself. You dig what I'm saying? Like nigga.
But you listen now. Like you can't
Yeah.
sit here and pretend like at one point you weren't hearing what nobody was
Give
telling
me,
you
give me
about
one
Justice.
second, y'all.
To be
Give me one
like,
second.
what you talking about? Like
Yeah. That's still
that
growth
shit.
though. That took.
Yeah.
And I didn't start listening until Jazz, because when I started realizing that motherfucker was getting upset about some shit I wasn't listening to, and almost lost that motherfucker, I was like, all right,
Let me buckle down.
yeah.
Hey,
Let me buckle down.
And every
he is
series,
hard
hey,
as
look,
fuck. He like, man, fuck what you talking about? I'm finna do what I want. Like it just be like, nigga.
yeah, bro, but like that everything comes in the series. Like I got child around me for certain shit in my life. I got her around me for certain shit in my life. Family members in my life for a certain pathway. Like everything is like a different learning curve, and like every table is different when you put that food on the table. You know what I'm saying? Like it took for me to get with somebody like Jazz, who was very, very fucking soft, and she started exemplifying what she wanted to be and who she wanted to be with. And I'm like, ignoring all the signs. All I got to do is simply listen to her. Instead of using 16 extra words, let me just shut the fuck up for an extra 30 seconds. She get all that shit out, and boom, I'm there.
You got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
You know what I'm saying, bro? So like, end of the day, bro, you just gotta understand, bro. Like, you ain't always fucking right. I don't give a fuck who you are. You can think you went wrong in a situation. At some point in time, you were wrong in that situation, regardless of if the outcome came out that you just happened to be right. Like, nigga, you did something wrong somewhere, and that's just the reality of what we gotta face. The understanding that, nigga, you can't live your life thinking that you above all, and it's just as simple as that.
I miss
Not too much.
Not too much.
Not too much.
Yeah, like, not
Too
too
much.
much.
What's your next question, Kay?
Just enough.
Oh, we didn't flip the
I
script.
feel like we're not hearing enough of job. Because listen, it's not often we get to hear like male perspectives. Like women be having a boatload of questions they want to ask men, and it's not often we get a chance to say, "Hey, give me the answer to this." And yeah, I got Justice, and Justice gonna give me an asshole answer every time. Loving the bits, but it's nice to hear other perspectives about questions that women have. So I guess my next question would be, if you got to define what a man is, what is a man to you?
Subjective. That's a
that
very
right there.
subjective.
That's gonna be a
question.
fucking. That is very subjective. But I feel like I think one thing we can all agree on. One thing we can all agree on in regards to a man or a man, if he has children, you know what I'm saying, he's present in their lives. That's a man to me. Taking care of his responsibilities. And what I mean by responsibilities is like, you know what I'm saying, making sure the family is straight, making sure they're protected, you know what I mean? Making sure that you are a good reflection to other people looking outside of what that makes it broader.
Yeah, bro.
But at the end of the day, I feel like
being somebody that my son wants to be.
Okay. So I get how the question sounds, and I only ask because women have very different definitions in comparison to what men think.
Yeah, because
I feel like you should give us I feel like you should give us a definition first, and then
I said, what's your definition of a man?
We can say the ups or no.
I feel like a man, to me personally, my perspective, regardless of how anybody else feels, is a stand-up guy. I feel like a man is someone who is just as much as a good learner as he is a teacher. I feel like he's someone who can be vulnerable and knows the timing and placing. I think it's more so about integrity. Like, I feel like that's the perfect word. I feel like a man is someone who has integrity. Like, you got morals and values that you stand on, and regardless of how the room's shaking, you standing on it. And I think the problem where the disconnect comes into, as far as men and women go, is it's a good majority of women who don't look at the substance of a man, but what a man can provide as him being a man.
I agree.
But I also have a question. But I would go ahead.
No, ask your question. Oh.
Well, just when you said the last part, I agree with everything you said. But when you said the last part, the providing thing, and it might be slightly off topic, but still on topic. Would you rather have a financially stable father or a financially stable man? Would you rather have a kid with a financially stable man that's not in the kid's life, or would you rather have a guy that's not financially stable but present in the kid's life around?
I take
Mm.
presence. I take time over financial stability because I feel like financial stability can come. I feel like that's something that can come. That's something you can work towards. And it's not to say that I'm not financially in a position to take care of them, but it's I watch my mama do it. It's certain stuff as a woman you can't provide to a child that you need a man to provide.
I asked that question only because, like I said, it was a something I seen, but a lot of the women say that much rather have a man that's financially stable and not around. And the only reason I asked that is, do women consider a man less of a man because if he is not financially stable, but he is in the kid's life trying to make it do what it do?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Justice.
Yeah, he's
So
ready for a minute.
Answer
is it
that-
for me?
Answer the question real quick, and then I'll touch.
I can't see
Okay.
justice on my thing. That's why I don't know if he. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, my bad. Okay, say that question one more time for me, Eli.
Would you rather
question
have a
was,
financially stable that's not in the kid's life, or a person that's not financially stable but in the kid's life?
No, we
answer
just
that.
answered that one.
Yeah. But the question was because if is he less of a man because he's not financially stable, but he's present in the kid's life, or not?
Okay,
Or do y'all view
so
him more as a man because he has the money, but he ain't in the kid's life?
I'm not gonna speak on the y'alls because I can only speak for me. And so for me, I don't think that finances equate to manliness or being a man because you got to start somewhere. I feel like you got to have solid foundation, and even the richest man can lack substance. He can lack integrity. He just got
Yeah.
money. So it's cool. We see it all the time where men have money, or males, however you want to phrase it. They have money, they have children, and they leading their children lost. Like their children is out there in the blind doing whatever. They look good though. They well take care of it because they got money.
This is where I wanted to chime in too. I have to cut you off, okay? Because I'm gonna forget. So, Eli, to go back to your question, so we're not redirected.
My boy said I got ADHD.
Yeah, I do, bro. Because I'm over here playing this little motherfucker right here, bro. And I've been having a good time with this motherfucking band. So look, bro, I think the way she was interpreting that information was she wasn't. It's not the question
Who,
that you're posing.
K or the question
K.
that was asked?
Okay.
Okay.
Like the questions that she asked in general, but I don't think she was directing it that way. So I'm going to attest to Kay Giannis' character because everything that she's saying is pure. And I think the one thing we always forget about in these topics of conversation is not about the wealthy man, the broke man, the nigga that's not a man, but she's talking about the generous man, the man the exact man that she's describing right now is the man like myself who is the average guy making average salary, maintainable lifestyle, but he does what he can with respect to when he can do it. So like he may not have it up front, but if you like, for me, for instance, I'm the type of guy that I pay attention to small things. Like Jazz said, she wanted to do such and such, or let's say botanical gardens, because she said that shit like one time around, last February around this time, and she said something about it like in January, December. And I'm like, perfect gift. I can just get you tickets here. We can go here, do the da and go on about our business and do some other shit afterwards. And that's what we consider a generous man. A generous man isn't someone who has to pose his image and pose his presence by saying like, hey, I got 10 bands, I'll pay your bills, I'll do this and the third. But I think what she's describing is the guy who's saying like, I know I can't give you the most luxurious lifestyle, but I'm going to give you a lifestyle that's more feasible for me financially, but also comfortable enough to make you feel satisfied in your own way. Because I know who my woman is. So if my woman says she want to go on a picnic, fuck a picnic. I'm going to take you to a sit-in movie theater. After we leave that motherfucker, we're going to go outside and we're going to have like a paint date. Instead of eating at the picnic, we're going to paint right there. We're going to have a sip and paint. Like that's the kind of thing that I think she's more kind of like directing herself to. Like it's not about like the guy who's broke, but he's in
No. I get that. I hear what she was saying. I just when she said her question, and I know a lot of and that's a fact. Women want to be able to feel comfortable and protected, like all across the board, like with their man. But when she said it, I'm like, well, that's when it just brought the question, like, because of how a lot of women think, and it's not putting you guys all in categories,
Yeah.
but because of how the new generation of women think, I was just curious of her perspective of that. Because a lot of, like I said, a lot of the women was, oh yeah, I much rather have the man that's
Speak
financially
for both
stable.
sides of a coin, though, because I was gonna speak for both sides of the coin. Because I know
Okay.
the majority don't speak like me. Majority's
Mhm.
gonna tell you, "Give me the money." Like I
Mm,
much
Yeah.
rather have the money, and that's because we in this pick me generation, this social media. I see the glitz and the glam, and I want my baby in Balenciaga sneakers, but he wants Spider-Man light up shoes. Like it's it's an
Ugly ass
image
shoes.
that it's an image that we see pushed at us so much to the point that people forget what it is that they even want anymore. Now you're going based off what everyone is telling you should want. And a
You
lot
right,
of women,
Donna.
I feel like I don't know, I'm grateful for the mama I got, because my mom told me early on, like when I would go to her and ask for advice, she's always like, do whatever it is that you want to do. And I would never understand why she wouldn't lead me one way versus the other. Until one day she was just like, you just looking for somebody to blame if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Like the first thing you're gonna say when it's go wrong is, you told me to. So do whatever it is that you want, because it's your life and you got to sit with that decision. The problem is we're in a generation now where people don't know how to make decisions for themselves anymore. So they're going based on what everybody is telling them that they should want. So we're telling you should want a man with money. Like even if he cheat on you, and I see that junk all the time, we telling you
Yeah.
that you shouldn't go eat at these places. You should have higher standards for the places you
Yeah.
want to eat at. But can you afford to eat at that place on your own?
Yeah.
Boy, say
That's
that
the bigger
again.
question.
Say that again.
Can you
Oh,
afford to
boy.
eat at that place on your own?
I will say
If he
one
if
thing.
he can't pick up the tab, can you pick up the tab?
Facts. But I will say as a personally, and it's just me, but personally as a man though, you should be financially stable. I do agree with you, Diamond. I feel like as a man, you should be financially stable. Now, I'm not saying that that don't mean you can't struggle. You know what I mean? Hit some bumps here and there or whatever. But I feel like financial stability is a part of being a man. And I don't mean being rich, wealthy, all that stuff, but being able to, my kids get sick, you know what I'm saying? They got medicine. My kids need clothes. It's cold outside. I got so on and so forth. The bills, like shit like that. That's financial stability, being responsible. Like I said, I ain't saying they got to bring in $100K a year, but financial
Absolutely, but
stability is big.
that wasn't the question. Was one or the
No,
other.
I
And if
know.
I gotta
Yeah,
choose
yeah.
finances over like my child having an active father, choose
No,
active father. Like
100%, 100%,
Hey,
100%. But I'm still saying, just to clarify, though, I would say it's still,
oh no,
as a man,
absolutely.
you should.
'Cause
hey, so I want to kind of change the direction, right? So there was a question posed by Diamond. Unfortunately, she couldn't be on this episode today, but she actually had a really good question in this list group right here. And the question was, I'm gonna use the term DV, so I'll text y'all what DV is before I ask this question. Y'all know what it is, unless y'all already know.
I don't. Please do.
I think I got
Disabled
a
veteran?
hunch. No, domestic.
Oh,
That's all.
Yeah, so we
Is
gonna
that it?
we're gonna
Okay.
leave it at DV for the
Okay,
content,
yeah.
so we
Okay.
so
Okay. Okay.
so the question is there a double standard when it comes to DV, men versus men, women versus women, men versus women, and women versus men? Is there a
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
can you say that? Can you say that one more time? What's the question again?
read it verbatim?
Is there a double standard when it comes to DV with men versus men, women versus men, women versus women? Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think this is
Yeah.
like the most obvious question, but I wanted to touch on it because it needs to be talked about. Women versus women is just one of those things where, of course, it's an arrestable offense because most times when that shit happens out in public, there's some girls that's just beefing and they just want to fight, so they fight wherever they meet. With men's, it's
They don't count as DV though. That's DV is in a
DV for woman
relationship.
versus
Right,
woman is
but-
two people in a relationship.
yeah, I know, but a lot of times it's couples and they're fighting publicly, and a lot of times they can't really register it as DV because most times it's not caught in the home unless someone's there or hears the commotion going on. Now, when it comes to men versus women, somehow that shit's always fucking tracked. It doesn't matter who it comes from; it's just tracked, and the consequences, regardless of who is at fault in that circumstance, whether it's male versus female or female versus male, is always going to be the male as the primary suspect in that situation. So My biggest,
Yes and no.
yeah, there's a
And
reason.
only because I was been in that situation,
Yeah,
and
I
I
know.
was I was
I know. I'm
100%
just saying.
deemed as the one in the
Yeah,
wrong.
I'm just saying the
But most of
likelihood.
the time, and
Yeah,
you are the
yeah.
majority. It
The
is the
likelihood
man
is the
that's
man.
at fault.
The likelihood is the man. That's why you have to be very careful about when you call, because I've been in situations like that where the situation could have gotten worse. God could be my person to testify for that, where it could have 100% gotten worse if it had been outside of the military institution. So, or a military
Whoever
base
gets the phone first,
is the
the
person that,
other one's
yeah,
going to jail.
yeah.
Mhm.
And a lot of times that's how we want it to happen. But in all honesty, if there's a man involved, that motherfucker, he's gonna be questioned a lot more because
Yeah.
you're the stronger person, you're the bigger person.
Yep.
It's just the way life is. Now, man versus man, I ain't heard too much about them stories, and I'm not saying that it's a thing that doesn't exist. But I think in that situation, I think that is probably the honest to God truth, the fairest situation for any DV
I
situation.
had a joke, but I don't know if that's. Are we big enough to get canceled yet or no?
No, not yet. Go ahead.
Yeah, just say
Yeah, say your joke. Fuck their feelings. Fuck their feelings.
I was saying whoever's gay is the one that's gonna be in the right. I'm just kidding. Happy
That's
Black
hilarious.
History, but
That's his. What?
Ain't even-
all right, I'm
is-
done, bro. My apologies.
Nah, yeah, that's
Okay, well, Sky couldn't be here because Sky's sick. But since if we're gonna
Riding
be
around in that
questioning,
damn
they threw in
car
the
all day.
chat.
That's why. Out in these streets.
He wasn't even in the car last week, bro.
She wasn't. She wasn't. She
K
was in
was
the
though.
house.
K
But
was.
y'all taking turns? Y'all taking
I'm at
turns
the
who's in the
house
car?
though. I just be getting back from church when the podcast when it's time to join in. So
Oh, you
I
get out
just
of you go to a black church. I get out before 12 o'clock.
yeah.
You go to the
Amen.
7 o'clock service.
We go to I go to the service starts at 9:30. We normally out like right at 11. If
All right,
that long.
Get back focused. Get back focused.
That's
I
a good
apologize.
church.
I didn't mean to get off topic.
Yeah. Shout out to never mind. Maybe I shouldn't shout them out while we on that
Usually,
podcast.
usually,
No free
usually
advertisement.
Pastor be like 5 more minutes. You in there till 2.
Oh no.
Diamond asked the question.
I
Is it
can't see what
is it the
she's
same
saying.
thing? Is it the same though? Because she asked, violence in a relationship ever okay? Isn't that the same thing like as the domestic violence?
I
I think
think
it's
this
a
is
to the question.
ever okay.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying it's treated differently. I think that's the most fairest judgment you'll probably get out of a situation, man versus man. The joke was funnier.
But you know what? But in all honesty, that's like the reason why I don't want to date a woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
'Cause
even
I
in that
feel
situation,
like
it's fair too.
if we got heated, it's different. Like if we get heated, I'm not finna go swing on a grown man. That's just not gonna happen. I don't know if I'm mature enough to not swing on like if I had a girlfriend and we was getting into it. I don't know if I've reached that level where I could just be like, no, I'm gonna want to fight. So no. Outside of
if you got kids, right? You got a boy and you got a girl, and your son getting in a fight at school, and some little girl starts hitting on him, and she hitting on him. What do you teach your son? What do you teach your son? Hit her ass back.
Wait, say that again.
my mama taught us that. My hands are very much so bisexual. My mama told me I have an older brother, and my mama can attest to this. I have an older brother who is 10 years my senior, and she told my other brother, "You don't go hitting no woman. Like, don't just go out there and smacking women for no reason. But if a girl feels that she's big and bold enough to put her hands on you like she's a grown man, you have every right to defend yourself.
Okay.
You have every right to defend yourself.
Okay, hold. So I'm gonna say I'm a little different. I'm gonna tell my son to walk away first, and if you can't get away, then yeah, go ahead and.
Okay, so boom.
Because in the scenario he painted, like your son is in a fight already, and then dude's sister just comes swinging. He not thinking like,
oh yeah, clean her ass up.
First of all,
clean her ass up.
Now we put ourselves in a pickle. We put ourselves in a little pickle here, right?
Yeah,
so now, boom, you tell your son to walk away, and then he gets picked on from the kids at school. You let some girl beat you up, then you create this tough-shelled kid, right? And now he don't want to express himself. Now he's a tough shell. Or You tell your
Wait,
son
so
you hit her ass back, and then he beats up on this girl, and then he
okay,
gets picked on
so
for, hey,
This
you've been
is
beating up on a
No,
girl. So it's kind of like,
don't beat up
I'm just
on her
saying,
though.
I'm just
Just
saying,
no.
you
so
done
I'm
turned, you done,
so it's
What
the
I-
reason I'm saying. So I'm trying to walk away because I'm trying to teach you early that when you get older, you can't just
I'll answer that
a
question too,
woman
Diamond.
hit you,
Okay,
you
but
swing over them.
realistically speaking, if you get hit, it don't register in your head to say, "Hey, who's hitting me?" Your
just
first instinct is to defend
Well,
yourself.
I didn't hear the part that he was
It-
in a fight with another dude already.
Not even if you're not in a fight. If a girl come up and smack you hard enough, your instant reaction is gonna be to defend yourself. Now it takes discipline and self-control that most children will not have to be able to be like, "That's the girl, don't hit her back." But I'm pretty sure if you haven't, that's great. At some point, all men have been in a situation where they've been hit
hmm
by a
Mhm.
girl where it felt like
hmm
a nigga hit them, and they like, you gotta
Oh yeah.
catch yourself
You gotta
from
catch
hitting
yourself.
her back. That take discipline.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not saying
So as a
it's gonna be.
child,
okay.
I'm not saying it's gonna
So
be
now,
you
easy.
now
you
your
don't.
So
now,
wait. So
now your
wait.
son's growing up though. But now your son's growing up. 20 years later, he's grown up. He's been living with this mentality all his life. You put your hands on me, I'm gonna put my hands back. Now he's in a relationship. He's in a
Now he's in
relationship,
a relationship,
and she done hit his ass, and she hit his ass pretty fucking good.
See,
and
And he
what
hit
y'all
her ass
what y'all
back.
You
what y'all are
that's
talking about is a
Jody and
very
Yvette.
right. But what y'all are
Huh?
talking about is a
Jody
very
Jody and Yvette.
it's a very
When
yeah,
tightrope.
but
Jody hit
now,
her, he was like,
so
"Oh, I'm
now,
sorry, baby."
It's a very tightrope.
but
Y'all
now the
talking about it's a
issue with that
tightrope.
is when she calls the police, he's going to
Oh,
jail.
now y'all both go to jail. No. Now y'all
No,
both
no,
go to
no.
jail.
Yes, I do.
Well,
Yeah,
get the
I
phone
promise you.
first.
I
okay,
promise
Other
well,
you.
ones going to jail.
maybe not where y'all at, but now if you call Atlanta Police Department for domestic violence and you
They
say
locking
that
both of
y'all
y'all
was
ass
out
up.
there, both of y'all getting locked up. Like here, y'all both getting
I think
locked
that's
up.
fair. I think that's fair.
So this is the thing, right? It's a
Call him
thin
in
line for what y'all
Virginia.
are talking
They
about.
gonna ask her what happened,
It's a thin
and
line for
she
what y'all
gonna say,
talking
"I
about.
swung on him and he beat
Look
my
where you
ass."
said you at though.
Yeah, you in Virginia. That tells everything. But there's a thin line of what y'all talking about, right? So like in context, right? So I'm gonna tell you as a father of a boy and a girl, I'm gonna tell you right now, if my daughter seen my son get hit by a girl, I expect my daughter to beat the hell out that little girl.
Beat the fuck out her.
If she see it.
Right, if she sees it. Now, if she doesn't see it in that situation that's happening, what I'm going to instruct my son to do is, nigga, if you walk away and she swings at you again, give one good punch and leave it alone. Because that is you protecting yourself. I'm not telling you to go fight the girl back. You're going to punch that person or slap that person or push that person just strong enough for them not to want to come back. Now, if they keep charging at you, that's a whole different story. Now, in context of what Diamond asked in the chat, she said, so as an adult, if the woman hits her man, can he knock her out too? I'm going to tell you right now on air, if I was getting my ass hit on consecutively, which I have been in this situation before, I personally did not ever hit back. And this happened to me 4 times. I personally never fucking hit back. But if it gets to a point where I feel like my strength is overcoming what I can do to protect myself, she gonna get Hulk smashed. I'm punching that bitch through the wall. I swear to Lord I am. Now that's just me being reasonable. Now me being unreasonable, like I'm gonna tell you straight up, bro. Like I'm not gonna sit right here and just beat on the bitch. Like at the end of the day, I'm gonna defend myself. I'm gonna try to make sure I'm safe. But at the same
I got a
time,
question.
if you sitting right there trying to knock my ass out, motherfucker, I'm finna knock your ass out, and I promise you, I'm gonna hit like fucking Muhammad Ali if I got to. And that's just me being real.
Jay will tell you I got beat for 6 months, and I kept walking away. At some point, it just builds. And that last time, it was just like, all right, bitch.
Gotta see me.
Let's go.
Gotta see me.
Let's go.
I have a question then, since we're on the topic. Is there ever a situation in a relationship where you feel that putting your hands on the other party is the answer?
Nope.
No.
If I feel like I gotta put my hands on you, there's no reason for us to be around each other.
Not to go to.
That's not that's zero tolerance, bro. Ain't no such thing. There's no reason in the world that you can come up with to tell me that it's okay to put your hands on me.
That's why I wish there was another girl in here so I can be like, what would make you want to hit your man? Like, I really wish, like, is Diamond in the chat?
Really
Diamond, like I know, because it's 100%. Like, in a situation where I was in, and I'm not gonna talk too deep into it, I was literally walking away, leaving, and it was being pushed. And then it's like, okay, now when I spaz, you call the police. Like, when you're the antagonizer and I respond, Now you want to call the police,
But
and
see,
I was the
That's
one
a,
that was
but see,
that
this
that's
had
not
to leave.
playing
That
victim
was
shit.
arrested.
no. This
That's
is
not playing victim shit.
no. So this is where I'm gonna say you still could you could still change the outcome of that scenario because even though that person is probing at you and they never put their hands on you, you still have access to get into a vehicle and get the hell away.
No. I very much so got hands put on me. I
Okay,
had a whole
that's
bunch
different.
clip. Yeah,
But
like
see, that's when
so. Then when I click
that's when you start
out,
breaking that motherfucker out. You see what I'm saying?
but I'm saying, but when I click out, then it's like I didn't have it at the time. But when it's like when I
Yeah.
click out, now it's you're doing too much. Chill. It ain't that deep. Like what? Did I just missed something?
Yeah,
Like
facts.
like
Hey, I'm
it
putting
wasn't
that
that
shut
deep when I was walking away. You should have just let me leave.
up.
Like, but here I'll take a shot of water with you.
I bet good conversation. I had to throw a shout out for that one.
No,
Oh,
but
that was a good
in all
conversation.
seriousness though, like in all actuality, in a perfect world, it shouldn't be none. It's in a healthy relationship. It shouldn't be none of that shit for real.
Can you just repeat that one more time? In a healthy relationship.
In a healthy relationship, it shouldn't be none of that shit. Y'all should be able to be adults. Again,
And talk this shit out.
it's growth. It's growth. It's growth. Growth. Communication growth. When you get to a point where you like, yo, I got to put my hands on this motherfucker. We about to throw the scraps, especially if alcohol ain't involved. Yeah, it shouldn't be there.
So I got a question. Do y'all think in a relationship you can come back from a DV situation?
No.
No.
Yeah, I do.
So
I
for
do.
some people, yeah. In the situation I was in, we tried, but we just got to a very toxic place.
So
Like it was just
I'm gonna
constant.
be honest. I'm gonna
Just
be honest. I don't think that it's. I think that people will try to, but I don't think you can ever come back from the trauma that happened in that relationship, which is going to be a very big depiction of what the outcome will be. Even if y'all don't go back to beating on each other, I think that the thing that circles back around is the fact that y'all still don't trust each other enough. There's always going to be a moment where there's some kind of like emotion that like triggers something. There's always going to be something in place that makes y'all feel like y'all can't really connect on that other level because of the history. Now, if someone does change, I'm not saying it's not possible because I mean, the fucking depiction on television and movies and shit like that actually show like different outcomes sometimes. I mean, it's a possible thing, but I don't think that it should be a popularized thing. I don't think you should just go back willingly to that person after you went through so many traumatic instances. I think
I think it depends on how deep it is though. How like I feel like this is a level.
In all
Pause.
in all honesty, I
like
think it's all the same.
Iketina, I don't think, if we literally we scrapping every, I don't think that's the thing. But like if it was, I don't know. It's your relationship. Whoever your relationship is with, depending on how deep that fucking domestic violence got or whatever, that's on y'all to figure out. But my point is, I think it can happen. Like it can happen to where y'all be like, you know what, we both fucked up. We both at this place. We both at a healthy place. I think it can happen if you want to make it work, but it's not impossible.
It very well can happen. I just don't think you should make it happen. I think if it does come back, let it come back naturally, but don't go back looking.
Fair. That's fair.
Ja, you've been real quiet this episode.
I've been listening,
Very
Just-
much so.
taking information,
Mm-hmm.
seeing everybody's perspective on it.
Mm-hmm. Taking notes.
Okay, you got another question to pose?
I do. Okay, so it's a video going around where it was like men decide when you get married. So at what point do you decide that you want to be in a relationship with a woman? Like what is it for you personally? It's like let's be in a relationship.
It's not something that's on like a time clock. It's how comfortable I feel with you, how comfortable you make me, and if I feel like that's where we should go next. And I don't think you can rush a person into it.
Absolutely. But do you keep talking to a woman if you don't see a relationship with her?
Yeah.
If I don't see one with her,
Yeah.
I'll let her know that.
That was gonna be my next question. Like, are you gonna tell her like?
Yeah, why not? Why not? We always tell females that we ain't looking for no relationship. If they decide to stay, they decide to stay. Now, if they think they can change it, that's something they stupid at. But
that's the best question. Is why do females feel like
They could
Okay,
change
not
us.
all females, because I
Change
see your
men.
face. I see your face.
Well, can I answer it? Can I answer it? Because I
Why
want to answer
do
on both sides. Because our group chats be lit with these kind of
why
conversations.
does
I can give everybody perspective.
why is there the perspective of he told me he on a relationship, but I could change that?
Okay, let me tell you the word of the past couple years: delusional. Delusional. Women will dead ass know, and I promise you, without giving away the who's and the what's, women
We
will
already know
dead
what you're
ass know, hear, see. You say, I don't want you, I don't want to be in a relationship, and you're still my man. That's where this whole my man, my man.
But accountability is a bitch because these niggas be giving them baby daddy dick me down dick, and then they expect this motherfucker to not go crazy. I have done it. I done slow
Not
stole my
even
way into
just
some
that,
loins, and the
though.
motherfucker been like, "Hey, nah, bro, you not finna keep telling me I want a relationship if you just did that last night."
But it's a lot of men that don't tell women they don't want a relationship.
No.
Like, they'll keep kind of engaging in conversation to keep having sex.
But
Like, if
And
you...
I was about to say that. I said, on the other hand, you got niggas that'll be,
Yeah.
I don't want a relationship,
But
but
either way,
you my woman and you can't.
Either
You
way,
can't
we
fuck
always
with
tell
nobody
them.
else.
Either way, it's always identified that that person doesn't want a relationship in some sort of way. Men just we communicate with different females based off the female's response. If we know the female's not going to take the direct, I'm not looking for a relationship, why would I tell her that shit? I'm gonna tell her in an indiscreet way. If she starts saying like relationships type shit, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, but we can't do that. Or if she starts saying we should go out, I start like deflecting, like, nah, I don't think I got time to, like, always avoid time with that person. Like, every male has a different way of doing it. It's just not articulated the same. So you can't really say, nah, sometimes they just don't tell them.
No, Justice, let's be fucking for real. We are in a city where we know for a fact it is men here that will definitely they gonna do just enough,
yeah, for sure,
just enough to keep
but that's the purpose.
From them.
That's the purpose. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right, but that didn't sound like
we just articulate it differently. Like, if we telling you I want to be in a relationship, it could be me physically saying it. It can be actions. It can
even
be
okay. So they're not doing either, because it's a lot of women that you don't want to be with them. They don't want to have sex with you.
And if they don't want to have sex, we probably just.
But if you want to keep, and I'm not saying you, but it's men who want to keep pussy around. So they'll continue to engage as if they wanted to, like, continue to get to know you, just so they can keep having sex until they get something else.
I'm here to tell you, baby, all of us done did it at some point. Baby, listen, if I gotta get you flowers once a week just to get some pussy, baby, you finna get a rose, you gonna get a tulip, you gonna get a daffodil, you gonna get a fucking anything you want.
Daffodil.
Hey, listen, if you want a sunflower, if you want one of them motherfuckers that you gotta blow, I'm gonna get you something different every week, and then I might come up and construct some new shit. I'll get some leaves together, roll them bitches up, make it look like a stem. Go get some thorn, put that bitch on, make a fake ass little rose that I can put in some gelatin or some shit, freeze it over. Like, nigga, I'm telling you, bro. Like, I'm gonna do as much as I can just to make sure I got some consistent pussy, because I know I have a registry for myself to where I gotta have a conjugal visit at least once or twice a week. So we gotta make some shape. I'm gonna do the bare minimum just to keep your ass around. Okay, that's just the way the shit go. Now, if
that nigga know what a dictionary is, boy, I tell you that.
Let me tell you something. If you sit right here and think you finna convince me that what I'm saying ain't true, that I don't want to be with you, I'm giving you all the actions that I'm telling you I don't necessarily want to be with you, but I'm having fun doing what we doing. That's your fault. But we gonna always tell you. It just may not be told the way you want to be told, because Kay, you very direct. I know you don't like when niggas beat around the bush. If a nigga tell you straight up what's up, you like, either I'm gonna fuck with it or I'm not gonna fuck with it. And that's just who you are. But however, you got different women in the chat who will say the same thing, but they really not like that. You built different. They can run their mouth all they want.
Okay, so to attest to women, I feel like even if you're gonna show them, you should still tell them. That way they got it in writing and in action. That way there is no confusion, no misconstruing, no nothing.
But what I'm saying is, there's always gonna be a way of a woman formally asked, and it's either gonna be indirect or direct. It's just what it is, and it's always by text. It's always, so what exactly are we? What are we doing? And that's when the question gets answered. It may not happen the very same day y'all meet. It may not happen the very first time y'all have sex. It may not happen after y'all have sex a couple times. It may come at a later point, and it's at that woman's discretion to make the move that she want to make. It's always gonna get told. We just don't tell it at the same times. I'm the nigga that's gonna tell you up front. Eli might be the nigga that tell you midway through. Mike might be the fuck nigga that might not tell you until the last minute.
Why was Mike gonna be
the last minute?
Hey, but it's fitting. It's fitting.
It's very fitting.
It's not.
Jock,
So what's job? What
Jock-
job?
Jock read the room. He gonna let you know either up front or he gonna let you know when you're ready to know. But he ain't gonna tell you no sooner than when you need to know.
I'm
That's
gonna
just
tell
what it
you,
is.
as soon as
He gonna he got divine time, and he gonna tell you
Yeah.
exactly when you need it. Like,
But see, that's about knowing your personnel. I know my personnel. Our roster been for a minute, so I got to learn everybody. You dig what I'm saying? It's just what it is.
oh, I hate you and your roster.
Hey, look, bro, I'm just being real now. Like we can't live in this fantasy land like
Mm.
niggas ain't telling motherfuckers what's going on. Because when women tell us what the fuck going on, it's just what it is. But you can't just tell a
Yeah,
woman the
that's-
same way. You can't walk
No.
up to a woman just like a woman would walk up to a man and be like, nah, nigga, I ain't trying to fuck with you. I can't be like, nah, girl, I ain't trying to fuck with you. That shit sounds sassy as fuck, don't it? But you also feel triggered like, why the fuck you say it like that, my nigga?
Okay, so because y'all done said sassy again, and I just want y'all to understand the context and when it's most used. Sassy has nothing to do with vulnerability, anything like that. When we be like sassy, it's men that's
Yes.
out here that's like, okay, say for instance, I'm a girl and I just make a certain amount. I'm in a 6-figure tax bracket or whatever. They'll be like, oh, big money. Like that. I just feel like a man should just be out here calling me big money.
Okay,
like
but
I don't like
I don't.
it. It sound like
Nah, we
That's
just
That's funny.
we all
That
classify them
sound
niggas
funny
as
though.
gay.
I ain't gonna lie
Yeah.
to you. That sound
It's
funny.
funny as fuck.
yeah, just but
But
it's
we
men
consider that
that'll
shit
really
gay.
say that. Like
No, check me out.
like
Okay.
that'll really be
I've seen females on Twitter that call the nigga sassy for saying, I'm finna take this motherfucker to Cheesecake Factory. Like, nigga, I can't take a bitch to Cheesecake Factory without being sassy. I can't sit down on the toilet. I can't eat a banana properly without being, like, it's so many shit.
no. That's
Like,
Nah,
bro,
that's
Hey, you
the
say
it's
you
real.
most
over there
recent one I've
gobbling down
seen
them
was,
glizzes.
a nigga that know how to cook is sassy.
I was about to say that one. I seen the
That's
most
good.
Just
recent.
Stay over
a
there
nigga that know
gobbling
how
down
to
them
cook is
glizzes.
sassy.
why is a man that know how to cook sexy?
Right, like, what the fuck?
But
You
shit,
ain't
if that's the
even
case,
can
I'm the
cook.
sassiest nigga
If that's the
around.
case,
Call me Zoe
everybody
Wait,
in this
whatever.
bitch
I'm gonna
sassy.
lose. I'm out here trying to lose weight. You give me a man to cook, I'm just gonna be big mama for the rest of my life. Like that's just what it's gonna be. Like no,
that's
I
funny.
don't know. Women are
That's
weird.
funny.
I told you they come from people telling them what they.
But be them same ones that be walking with a nigga. He got a man purse on. Be funny though. That's
You
funny.
know what? I'm gonna say this. It's hard for women to know what kind of man they like when a lot of them didn't grow up with
Hey,
men in the house.
hey, real quick, because
A lot of
Hey,
people,
you said something. You saying something
you
right there.
did, you did. Oh, real quick though. So,
because I had a daddy for sure.
Who the
So
fuck did that?
Mike, you just
has-
talk like you have extra
Mike, you
effects.
done upgraded your damn Discord.
Hey,
Oh,
bro.
you should see the last week. We going
I, we were playing with him all last
Hey,
week.
so my question for y'all, right? I don't know if y'all seen that video where the girl flew the nigga out to the hotel room. She was
And he didn't want
like,
to
he didn't
fuck.
want to fuck. He said, my boy said, "Hey, nigga, I don't have sex on the first date, nigga." Hey,
Man,
Hey,
respect,
still hurt.
K, are
hey,
you going for
respect
that,
that
K?
brother, man. He transcend.
No.
That's a transcend.
You going for it, K? K, you going
That's
for
a
it?
pause.
He a trendsetter, man.
If I am flying a nigga out, we've already established some form of a relationship. But as far as like we just talking, I'm not flying
Hey,
you nowhere.
there go
Sorry,
that double
brother, I'm
standard.
not that person.
No, I'm
Go that
saying
double
you got
I don't.
standard.
you got the
I
money.
genuinely don't
You
expect
got
no man to be
double
flying
No,
me
I'm
out
not.
neither though.
Hey, K, but you
But
got the
I'm
money
just
though.
saying.
You got the money. You got the assets to do it.
And Winker, just to get to know you, no Winker, no.
That was
Nope.
on. That was actually on the Breakfast Club the other day. It was like
Nope.
he flew the shawty out or whatever, and she got there, and it wasn't nothing popping.
That's
Hey,
crazy, bro. When the roles change, bro, that shit be nuts.
No, because if we try,
it's
like
funny though.
again, first off, I'm not traveling, and I had this conversation with another guy. I'm not because he was talking about going out of town. I don't know you enough to go out of town with you. Like, and I don't think too many people look at that. Y'all be so quick to jump on this plane and go meet a stranger, to fly with a stranger, do all that. I don't know you well enough.
Your ass going up
We
in the
in the
comments
same.
box.
No, I'm trying. What?
Like
I don't know you well enough. So if we going out together, whether I'm paying for it, you paying for it, or we splitting it, however the case may be, we've established some form of relationship. I know your government name. I know who your parents are. I know where you live at. Like, if I
I
can't
know where your
answer
granny
certain
stay. I know where your mama stay.
if I can't
You
answer
say
the
you had a
basics,
gun when you seen him, right?
All right, so
we ain't going
so
nowhere.
last question. Last question. There's another video, and I
Oh,
want
Lord.
to get y'all perspective on this one. Another video where, well, videos. These guys are like going on dates with females, and they just get to the point where and it's 50-50 on the recordings, right? So 50% of the men are recording, 50% of the women are recording. But these guys are going on these dates, and they realizing like they don't want to fuck with the female after the date. That shit is fire, K. But then they decide like, since I don't fuck with her, I'm not gonna pay for her half. I'm gonna just pay for my half, and we just call it a day. Do y'all agree with that concept, or how would y'all handle that situation? And K, how would you?
That's called going.
Did
That's
I-
What was
Dutch.
it again? That's
That's
going Dutch, right?
Yeah, that's going Dutch.
It's going Dutch, but would y'all be okay with it? Or would,
Yeah, that's
for
fine.
the men, would y'all actually do something like that?
Nah, that's not gonna.
Nah.
Wait, hold on. So I just make sure I heard it right. So you said,
I'm
is it
taking
okay
on
to
a
go
date.
Dutch nowadays?
No, he's saying like, okay, the date didn't pan out how we expected the date to pan out.
So I don't
So
want to pay.
is it okay if, yeah, like you pay for you, I pay for me?
I don't think nothing
Are
wrong
we
with
just
it. But
talking, or we've been talking for a minute?
This is first date. Y'all just met each other
I
one
don't-
day, went on a date.
For a first date, I don't see an issue with it.
I
Like
said
if we
for
just,
first date,
you know,
school doing Dutch.
I don't think you can get another one if you do that though. If you're trying to,
but he
think you gonna get
already
another one.
said like, I ain't feeling it. Like this
well,
shit
like,
didn't pan
well, then
out,
that's cool. Then if you know you like, nah, this ain't happening again. Yeah, we're going Dutch. But
yeah,
if it's like,
but
But
I
if
don't
you
know
want,
about
if
this.
you trying to get another date, or you gonna pull your wallet out?
Oh yeah,
okay, so who should pay for the date? If I ask you on a date, who do you expect to pay?
I'm gonna have
come
my
on,
own
you know
money,
the
but
answer to
you
this.
asked me out, so I thought, you know
Stop.
what I'm saying?
Stop.
Mike,
There's
I'm gonna leave my
not-
wallet at home, man, nigga.
Hey,
No,
My
I'm
bad,
bring
baby.
my money.
I don't left my wallet at the house. It's in the car.
That's an automatic. That's an automatic
I
dub.
swear to God, we went to
That's an
go.
automatic dub.
We went to get tacos, and it's this taco place that I like here that don't take cash. They only take cards, but you have to put like a card on file or whatever. Or we there. I got asked out. We go. So boom.
You ain't like that shit. She ain't like that shit.
No. When the lady came, she got our drink. She was like, "Okay, I need your ID and a card to put on file." Bro, pass his ID. I
Bro
pass
looked over
mine.
to. He looked over.
No, she say, "I need a card to put on file." Mans is like, so she like, she look at me. I look at her. She like, "I need a card to put on file." So I'm like, maybe he don't hear her. So I'm like, all right, okay, cool. I pull out my card, put it on file because I'm finna eat regardless.
That's funny.
Soon as I do that, that man lifted up his head and said, "What tacos you gonna get?" So you heard this lady asking for this card. Bro, if you hungry, that's all you had to say.
That's funny.
If you
I'll say
just
this.
needed a meal.
Can't nobody change my mind on this, and I believe this 100%. Ain't nobody gonna change my mind if we in the courting phase, as SB says, or whatever. If we going out anywhere, if we going out, I don't care where we're at. The man's gonna have to put that wallet out. No
Right.
woman. I'm telling you, not one woman. I don't care what you say. If that woman has to pull that purse out, she automatically turned off. She's like, this is not it.
Yep.
That's automatically
I know-
turned you off,
I know,
regardless of
Joe-
what y'all think.
I know
You can do that shit once y'all
The only time that works,
But
the only time that works is an established relationship. Like again, my wife and I, we can go out. I'll be gonna put that wallet out. She'll probably pull her wallet out, still swipe one of my cards, but you know what I'm saying? That's only one of them type of.
I like that.
it's
Your
part of
card in her wallet. That's
I'm about to say, I know I joke a lot, but yeah, no. Usually, 9 times out of 10, I'm paying.
It's gotta be.
If
you
I'm
look
not,
like you
it
be
was
eating good too.
we were doing so good.
Yeah,
Maybe
I was.
episode, like
We were doing so good,
I couldn't. I'm sorry.
I made it 63 minutes.
and I was, you know, I do be eating good. I was eating like that nigga that got them tacos from you.
He didn't eat good
How
though.
much was the tab? How much you spend
Like $70 for me.
for you?
For
Oh,
you?
Y'all went Dutch.
But no touch. You ain't got no money. You can't. You should have said something.
oh, so that nigga
Hey,
didn't eat.
Hey, she pulled out the pay the full. No money, no food.
Oh, she said, "Oh, you here? Oh, but I'm gonna eat these 6 tacos. I'm gonna get these 3
First off, this
margaritas."
is my favorite taco place. Like they talk,
That's
I would run up $100 tab just on tacos. So I would literally sit there and just eat tacos. Like, no,
Look, she thinking about it now.
What's his taco
Oh,
place?
really, yeah.
In fact,
We
like
still streaming. We still streaming.
Oh, hold on. Hey,
How
y'all got
long
closing
tell them my
remarks?
taco place?
Y'all got closing remarks before we go?
Nah, good
Um,
episode. That was fun. Y'all
I told
funny
me
as
I
hell.
can't keep saying mine.
Y'all funny as
as
hell.
always, this is simply my perspective. I'm not forcing my opinion on nobody.
Fuck these folks.
Okay, Keith Lee. Was that sassy? Was that sassy?
Okay.
Say what you got, Mike. You gonna say fuck these people?
You already know it. You don't fuck with us, fuck you.
You got a job.
Great episode. If you don't,
You got a juice box?
I thought it
No, that's
was.
the
That's what
bait.
they. Yeah, I thought it was too.
Like,
That's why I had leaned in like, what that name?
hey, now if I would have had a Capri Sun, what would y'all said? Damn, let me get one.
nothing. I buy
I would've
juice
got
boxes
one,
all the time.
Oh,
I
that
just
man
don't
over
have
there sucking the
kids.
Capri
At least
Sun.
you got a reason.
He's
Like,
nasty.
I ain't got no kids.
Hey, with that being said, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, help us get in this algorithm, push our shit out, share the videos on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good shit. And yeah, make sure y'all follow Kay in the link in the description below, and the other 3 girls from the last 2 podcast episodes. Their links are also down below, so y'all can follow them as well. But until next week,
Right.
man.